doing? How you doing today? I think we're gonna try to. Is that better? Can you hear me better? Let me know. This should be better though. All right, cool. Appreciate that. Let's open up the radio too, since I got the antenna outside. Doesn't want to open. We can fix that. How's your Sunday going? Doing all right. Just working and playing, right? Pretty much it. How about yourself? Trying to keep up with the real truth, you know? Heck is it? SDR radio. Anything new with you? It's not showing me. Same, right? Come on, you can load. Come on. Mm-hmm. Right? Why is this not loading? Okay, hold on a second here. I think it's because it's not finding its files. Um, There we go. Let's see if I load this way. There it goes. All right, now let me get this on the screen. Let's make this a little bit smaller. I'm just, you know how I work. I'm just looking for the truth, you know? The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but. All right, so now let's get the frequency I'm looking for. Uh-oh. You know what's crazy? Everything was working before I went live. Everything. And it took me about an hour to go live because my internet kept being blocked. This was working. Now it's not. Pick your world exactly. Let's try to reset it. That's crazy, dude. I tested it before I even went live. Great patience I do not have. Anymore. If I was supposed to have patience, I'd be a doctor. Just kidding. Let's try to open it again. That's insane, bro. That makes no sense. Ha! That makes no sense, man. Let's try something different. I don't understand why it's not, unless I'm missing something. But no, it was working here a minute ago. Okay, let me. I'm gonna install runtime. That might be needing an update. I got a degree in computers years ago. I had all kinds of patience, but as I've gotten older now, all right, here we go. One more time, or we're gonna try something different. That is crazy, man. It was just working. USB. It's insane. Unless sometimes you know how it gets botched up, like there's 4 or 5 open at the same time. I mean, that's possible, right? 64, 90, 86. Hold on. Maybe that's why. Hold on. I need 86. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is called operator error. Operator error. Oh my god. Right? That's what it usually is, right? keep doing this to me? 4. They do. They do. I appreciate that. So what I have on now is I'm listening to the Russian buzzer, 4625, also known as the UVB 76. Um, Yesterday, everyone had all these theories like, why is Trump running back so quick? Why did Vance get canceled? Why is he coming back? Um, my opinion, and it's factual. They received intelligence that Russia was going to launch that mid-range ballistic missile, which they did. That can carry a nuclear payload. Zelensky warned his people in Ukraine the evening last night before it happened. And I think it was bring everybody back just in case. I don't think there was a meeting about Iran, like he said. I think it was a cover. And then shortly after, Russia actually launched for the third time ever that nuclear capable missile into Ukraine, which is insane. That breaks all kinds of rules. And so, being prior military and knowing that everything you see on the news is fake right now, I'm just trying to find the truth. I mean, if that is the case why they all came back so quick, I mean, even the cabinet, right, which would all come back in the event of a nuclear attack. Zelensky told his people, said, hey, this is possibly going to happen tonight. And would they tell us? Lies. Not the truth. That's why I get on here and do this, because they ain't going to tell us anything. I have some footage from last night. After that, I try to too, but then I start seeing things of I gotta change that to kilohertz. Things that like I've seen before, things that concern me. And I used to say, oh, it's not going to happen, or I've seen everything before. And now I don't say that because every day it's something new. No, that's true. That's true. I what was I gonna say? I'm the type of person that if it's not happening right in front of me, I can't control it. I don't care, right? But there's certain things that I see that are happening, and not just me, that is a cause or an alarm to attempt to find out what's going on, because it can have long-lasting impacts on all of us as humans, right? That's all we can do. That's all we can do is keep praying. It doesn't stop me from doing my day. I don't let it consume me like it did. But I like to be in the know. And here's the thing where people think that, oh, like, he's crazy or whatever, right? If you take the White House last post yesterday during the morning hours and look at the headline, it says RIP headphones. In the intelligence community, that means there's about to be something huge that happens. And people are like, oh, that's a stretch. It could be a stretch. But this administration, this individual always tells us before something happens. Always. That's just how that person is. And so I don't like what's going on. I don't like to see what's going on. It's not what I fought for. Any other country that would have launched that same type of hypersonic missile yesterday to another country, that other country would have responded with their nukes. And all NATO did was like, oh, that's not very cool of you, you know? And everyone went on alert. So it's those type of events that can have long-term effects. All the other stuff, it's going to happen. The spiritual warfare is huge right now, in my opinion. Yeah. Because, yesterday I went live for a little while, and I was like, the community that was in there, they're like, I don't know, but I can tell you my opinion, right? Because, I always try to stay with the facts unless you ask my opinion. There's no way in today's intelligence community that you can move a rocket, a missile of that size and caliber and what it can carry without people knowing. So then I started digging on that thought, and sure enough, they had intelligence reports that came out earlier that morning or prior day if it was overseas in Ukraine, right? And so to me, it just makes sense why everybody rushed back, Just everybody just rushed back. Why? It could have very well have been a nuke on board that missile, and then what? The end game is everyone that possesses the button to launch a nuke knows that would be the end of everybody and everything. But do you know how crazy you have to be or a madman to launch that? It still did a lot of damage. So it's like, what stops the madman from going from that to actually put in a payload, And at the end of the day, who's actually winning? There's no winners in war. It's always us innocent people that are getting hurt and killed. Did you see the video of those things hitting? It's freaking insane, dude. Five, 779. But that DDoS attack is huge. Like, could have been why maybe I couldn't get on the internet. I don't know. We got a lot of frequencies we can try here. So back from the Cold War, this mysterious station popped up, right? We call it the buzzer now. And it would just have a tone or a hum. But every now and then it would go live and someone would be talking. Um, don't know if it was encrypted or what. Um, then after the Cold War ended, it's still alive. It's still a well. And it's like, as far as everyone else but Russia, we don't know where it's located. And it's recently gone active, right? There's been speaking on it where some experts in Washington or Pentagon believe they're given orders and stuff like that. It could also be propaganda, right? It could be the fear, trying to bring fear into people. But it's called the buzzer. Sometimes if you catch it at the right time, it goes eh, 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 eh. Right now, because of the daytime and probably where my antenna is, we're not picking that part up. Just scanning the radios right now. I mean, I didn't plan to go live today, but it is 99% humidity right here, and I mean, I can't even drum. I tried to play guitar for a little bit, and I was just drenched in sweat, and I have everything closed and the AC on, so. I'm not trying to, like, catch anything of importance. Speaking of that, I should probably hit recording just in case. You know, I don't ever go anywhere, so it gives me a chance to talk to peeps like you. 6998. Let's try 6. You get better signals at night when it's darker, the sun's down, it's cooler. We've actually picked up the signals that come out of the like when a star explodes or a supernova or something from the other side of the Milky Way. We've picked up those before on here, which is common. It's on this. It's called the oxygen line. It's like a whole direction in space. Like, that's where they got that wow signal from, allegedly. But it's like if life was going to exist, it's going to be in this direction into interstellar space, right? I mean, we've caught some cool things like that before, but because it all relies on the ionosphere when it comes to the communications, for especially with intelligence. But chances are we're not going to be able to hear anything here because I think you have to be closer over there. Been working so much, I haven't taken time for interest like this, like things. Yeah, the same. I start a new line of business on Monday or Tuesday with my company, so I'll be buckled down in training for the next 7 weeks. But it's important, right? Because I didn't drum for almost a year, and then I'm starting to drum again, and it's like it hurts, right? It's like, how did I get so bad? Imagine how good I'd be if I kept going. So I get that, man. But one thing I'm going to turn 60 on Wednesday, believe it or not. And one thing I've learned that I'm trying to really follow is live each moment and do what you want to do so you don't slide into your grave with regrets. That's one thing I am trying to do. I mean, I do know for a fact, so do many, 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 many others, a lot of what we're told is not factual. I mean, let's say for the sake of argument, the reason why Trump and the cabinet rushed back, didn't go to the son's wedding, and why they canceled Vance right away. They canceled him right away and made him come back, right? Um, let's say it's because they did have the intelligence, right? Like they said they did. The difference is Zelensky told his population, his people, his citizens, red alert tonight. It's very possible, based off intelligence, that Russia's going to launch this supersonic or hypersonic missile, right? We weren't told anything. That could have very well been launched over here. You two, what, turning 60 or try to live every day to the fullest? I mean, that's all we can. That's all we can do, man. I think it's important. Oh, thank you. Too kind. AM radio. Coming up to shortwave now. Let me know if that's too loud, please. All right, cool. Thank you. I'm looking for. were spikes. That's true. Monk as Us said, Abe said, it's not the amount of years in your life, it's the amount of life in your years. 100%. I hear so many people say, I can't wait to retire. I'm not going to retire unless I absolutely have to. As long as I keep moving, a body in motion stays in motion. And plus, if I stop working, then I can only make my VA disability. If I keep working, I can collect that on top of whatever I'm working. You know what I'm saying? One 7 5 1 1 1 7. Might be off one. Might have to go over. I do. Still learning this. 5 7. Oops. 7. Eight nine nine two. Okay. So that is the channel if any emergency alert messages are sent in the military. I don't know if we're going to be able to pick anything up because my antenna is on a patio. Something's being transmitted. I'm going to see if I can tune it. back up. What happened? Okay. I gotta learn how to lock this in. Should be a lock somewhere, right? Oops. So it's gotta be one of these. So it's going to be. Okay. Where's that big spike that we saw? That might be a lock carrier. Nope. Nope. That's AM. It's not going to be on AM. there for a minute. Oops. I'm still here. I'm still here. $11,175. What is it? 5, 7. So again, touch. I gotta learn how to use this more. There. Start asking. Oh, that's right up there. What happened to my chat? There we go. It's too much in the daytime. I'm probably not gonna pick up anything. Sorry about that. Where's my charger? I need to put this on the charger. What are you doing, Mom? It's too early to eat. It's not dinner time, sweetie. Not yet. Some power on it.
Say, I want to retire last week because I'm tired of all this stuff. But the question is, there is a good time to retire. So do you get... I want to see the Republicans come up with a, hey, we will match your down payment. We'll take...
Hey, peace and love to you too, man. Be safe, all right? With those storms, they're no joke this year, or any year for that matter. But I know here in Texas they've been pretty wild. Glad you stopped in. Appreciate you. You have a great day, all right? Stay safe. Hope to see you soon. No, I need to be in USB. No problem, no problem. Good to see you, though. Hope that you have a great day. yo. What's up, Gina?
You don't want to hear the information that way. Dollars and Cents Radio podcast on your favorite podcast platform. We launch a new podcast every week. Every week there's a new podcast out there with relevant info on what to
Now
expect.
tell me what this is
And now
supposed
it's
to
back
be.
to retirement plan that is a
How you doing today?
for you. So find it out. The Dollars and Cents Radio podcast. Here with Doug Horn. And here we go. Here's another one. How much do I need to plan on spending on health care before turning 65? Well, I don't know that has an answer there. It's like, how you feeling today?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Or how you feeling tomorrow?
it's one of the age-old things I've seen my whole 30-year career. People have enough to retire before 65, but they're
Enough.
worried about not having insurance coverage until Medicare kicks in. So,
Right.
Yes.
I'm being
You mean earlier today? I couldn't get on earlier. Not work. Oh. Yeah, earlier wouldn't let me on. Just messing around here. I was live last night. As soon as I heard what Russia did, I went live. And then it all made sense to me. Yeah, I know you were. Oh, I put this freak. I'll tell you what I think happened. Oh, come on, don't do this to me. There. For the third time ever, they launched their nuclear capable hypersonic missile into Ukraine. They attacked Ukraine with it. And then followed massive missiles and drone attacks. It's like they're mid-range ballistic. And so, right when I heard that, I went on, and then it made sense, right? At least in my opinion. Remember we were talking about why isn't Trump going to his son's birthday? Why are they rushing? Or no, not birthday, marriage, wedding. Why are they rushing back? Why did Vance just touch ground over there and then just came back immediately? And then if you go back a day or two, there's a very ominous video from the White House that shows a staffer filming through the screen of a camera showing Trump and other people going into the bottom of the White House, right? And then yesterday morning he posted something that said "Rest in peace" or "R.I.P. headphones," which in the intelligence community means something big's going to happen. And what ticks me off is Zelensky, I can't even say his name, Zelensky told his people last evening, his time, that they had intelligence that Russia was going to launch this potential nuclear-capable missile. He warned his people. And what did we get? I'm in the cabinet meeting talking about Iran, which I feel is bullshit now, right? No, there's a lot of people in Ukraine. They hit the capital, Kyiv. A retaliation. I think that's why everybody rushed back, because they had intelligence. You can't move a missile of that size without intelligence communities picking it up. You just can't. In my opinion, that's why the cabinet and him rushed back. They brought Vance back. I don't know where they brought him. But him in particular, he tells us what's going to happen before it happens. You have to decipher. All these posts that people are laughing at is for a reason. In my opinion, he's telling us. Third time ever, and he broke the law. Putin broke the law doing that, sending parts of NATO into a frenzy. In fact, the whole Ukraine was under red alert air watch yesterday. I have some video shortly after that of them bombing Kyiv. And then initial reports was about air quality in Ukraine, and I could never find anything about that. But it definitely was not a nuke. The missile is capable of it. But any other country that would have done that and hit another country last night would have responded with their nukes. You know what I'm saying? If we did that to China, China's going to respond with their nukes. So he's getting like this free pass, like, oh, the NATO is, you're a bad boy for doing that. You should not have done that. We don't like that. So I don't know. That set off a lot of potential alarms. When you get a chance, look at the video. That hypersonic missile, there's nothing that can stop it. Look at the speed that it impacts. But I firmly believe he always tells us. He always tells us what's going to happen. Of all the stuff that they could have used in retaliation, exactly, they're sending a message. That's how I feel too. That's how I feel. Look, everybody knows it's end game if you send an actual nuke, right? Well, how much of a madman do you have to be to launch that, knowing that you're going to be setting off bells around the world? And what stops the madman from putting something on it and launching a real one with, an actual nuke? Yeah, but that's an expensive missile, man. That's a hypersonic. There's nothing that can stop it. I mean, that's possible, right? But what gets me is the day before it was posted about the intelligence of this, Zelensky warns his citizens of his country the evening last night before it all happened, and we weren't told shit. We weren't told shit. As far as I'm concerned, that whole thing about the meeting with Iran and the deal was just bullshit to not alarm the American people. While Zelensky tells his people, take cover, stay in your shelters, this is probably going to happen, we have intelligence. And they didn't get that intelligence without us or some other major country, so... Well, maybe they do have the capability now, I don't know. Yeah. If you start looking like everyone's figuring out, why is Iran closing down their airspace? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? Why is he rushing back with the cabinet? Something big's about to happen, but the answer was on the internet. That's why these fear mongers, man. The answers are there. Oh, I know you were just kidding, girl. The answers are there. They're telling us. But I didn't think he was going to actually do it. Shit, he could be out of missiles. Yeah. Matter of fact, it might have been in the bunker. If you go back and watch that ominous video, it shows a staffer standing out like around the corner or something with an LCD screen, and it shows what looks like him and other people in the dark moving into the basement of walking into the basement of the White House. It's insane, man. Since I can't do anything here because it's so freaking humid, I figured I'd come on here and mess around a little bit. That's crazy, man. I want to try to drum later. Depends how I feel, man. Humidity's at 99%. Uh-oh, what the hell did I do? There we go. So all
Best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new.
I gotta make some dinner soon. That's the AM. Now we're back to USB. Yeah, isn't it like half, not half, but some are and some are torn? If I read it right. Yeah. But all the lies we catch them in. Yeah. Which tells you who really has the power, right? Who really has the power? I'm not really getting any options here. It's got to be pretty bad one way or the other if they don't want to release it. I mean, if in fact that's why he was rushed back yesterday and Vance was rushed back and all that stuff, as Zelensky told his people, and we weren't told anything, it's like, who do you believe anymore, right? I mean, like, for real. That's my last work day this week. This place. What do you mean? This place really mats or makes? Makes you earn your income? I know you show up to work and then they expect you to do something. I don't understand that. I'm already there. Now you want me to do something? Yeah, that's what I thought. They make you. It's like you already showed up. Now you want me to do shit? I mean, I made it this far. check something real quick before I get. Oh, I heard from E. He says, I've been offline for 80 days because no internet. Right now, I'm able to connect using SNI spoofing methods, which is very difficult to explain. But what about the other side of that coin? What if they're not interdimensional? What if everything we've been told is a lie? What if it's something that we never thought? You know, I'm going with that. What if nothing is the way that we thought? The White House no longer expects an agreement with Iran to be announced today. Yesterday, Trump said a deal with announcement was coming shortly. Now it's delayed. We're going to find out soon enough. History is not the same. I've been thinking that too. But God is not who we think he is, or her, or it, the being. Possibly the truth of reptilians, or exactly, or 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 it's a computer and we are really in a matrix and we're actually dead and asleep, and it's our memories that are, it's our subconscious that's doing everything. If they're that scared to say anything, it has to be pretty revealing, right? The fact they didn't tell us what Putin was doing yesterday, that could have very well been a long range and came to us, tells me that whatever's in there has got to be pretty bad. That they're afraid there's going to be mass panic and all kinds of stuff, right? Did you? I mean, everything's XOs or 10s, 1001. I believe it, but we also have feelings, right? So I mean, it's like I don't know. I just wish they'd come out with it and let us deal with it. They're teasing too long. And that's what I start feeling like it's discredited at that point. You know? Excuse me. Quit telling me that the deal is closed. I'm tired of seeing that. I mean, time will tell. Yeah, I'm going to get off here too. Have a good night. Be safe. Don't work too hard. Appreciate you and everyone that's been here, especially Monk. I know you had to go. Oh, everyone has a good day. I'll come back on if anything pops. I'm going to try to drum tonight if it's not too nasty. I'm going to make some